I welcome you in this training program, sir, on behalf of all the participants. So to begin with, I would like to bring to your knowledge, sir, that this is a CFA on organic farming training program, which is started on 15th of February and will end by 24th of February. Sir, in this training program, we are having 68 participants from different corners of the country. So on behalf of all the participants, sir, I welcome you in this training program. Friends, I would like to introduce our elite speakers to all of you. Dr. Somasundaram, sir. He is the professor and head in Department of Sustainable Organic Agriculture at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore. He is having more than 25 years of experience. He is having 3 books, 10 book chapters, 29 research articles, and more than 30 research papers to his credit, apart from having several national and international awards to his credit. He's having a vast experience on organic agriculture, and today also sir will be sharing his valuable knowledge and experiences with our participants. And the topic of his today's talk is ITK base for organic agriculture and herbal pesticides. I once again welcome you, sir, and hand over the session to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Poonam and beloved Ravi Shankar ji and Director IIFSR and participants. I'm very happy to spend the afternoon with the delight participants from all over the country. Thank you for your brief introduction, madam. Now we will have a 45 minutes discussion about the assigned topic, that is indigenous technical knowledge, a base for sustainable organic agriculture. Presently, I am the professor in Department of Agronomy, and I am happy to convey that I am also a member in the National Committee formulation of syllabus for natural farming curriculum, along with Dr. Ravi Shankar ji. And presently, the hot issues are everybody knows that there is a reversing trend in productivity, and production decrease in spite of increased inputs. That is the response curve is started declining, and modern technology has proved its unsustainability. That's why we are now thinking of the ways and means to sustain our production. And agriculture technology based on indigenous knowledge can moderate the productivity because we are using the local resources, and mostly we are self-reliant. And there is an urgent need to re-examine and then gradually reintroduce our forefathers' technologies. Otherwise, they are called as ITKs. Next, please. So ITK is nothing but our forefathers' knowledge by trial and error. The local or indigenous knowledge referred to the cumulative and complex bodies of knowledge, know-how, practices, and representation that are maintained and developed by local communities who have long histories of interaction with the existing natural environment. And next, please. So it's nothing but the documentation of our ancient information. So we know that the agricultural heritage is more than 10,000 years old. Paleolithic and Neolithic periods, we have enough documentations, and so far we have documented more than 50,000 varieties of rice. As far as India is concerned, more than 20,000 varieties, and sorghum itself we have 5,000 varieties, and similarly for other crops and also animals. So in Tamil Nadu, 65%, as far as Tamil Nadu, some of the participants are from Tamil Nadu, I heard. And Tamil Nadu, 65% of the people are engaged in agriculture, and in national, we had up to 72%. Recently, we have 61%. And state economy largely depends on agriculture. So the blend of indigenous technical knowledge and modern technology can bring sustainability, because we know that the resources are shrinking on one side. On the other hand, the response to the inputs we apply to the, that is, we apply as inputs to agriculture is not producing the same results as we had in the past. So that means some resilience is going on. So we need to have the proven technologies, age-old technologies by trial and error that have been developed more than 5,000 years or 2,000 years. Still they are in existence, means it has proved its sustainability. So we need to integrate such technologies to our benefit. So next, please. Just to go ahead with the PowerPoints, and then later on we will have a deep discussion. Okay, the basic component of any country's knowledge system is its indigenous knowledge. So it encompasses the skills, experience, and insights of people that are essential to maintain and improve the livelihood. And this ITK is in emerging global knowledge as far as World Bank report is concerned. Now they are recommending to integrate the indigenous knowledge that is specific to a particular region to produce a sustainable, have the sustainable development. And they are all low cost and many times no cost. And they have proven over the period of time, and so many things have been documented and many things not documented. So unwritten body of language, they used to say. Right. Next, please. So this importance we need to have. And in Tamil Nadu, thanks to the extension scientists, they have documented a lot of technologies, especially from Gandhigram Rural University and also Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Annamalai University. They have documented many informations, that is the indigenous knowledge. And slowly the Department of Sustainable Organic Agriculture in Tamil Nadu Agriculture University is trying to validate all this technical knowledge to see the scientific rationale behind it, so that it can be suitably integrated and can be simulated to similar agroclimatic conditions or agroecological zones, so that we can bring the sustainability. That is an idea. So the advantage of ITK is efficient, effective, and also brings sustainability, because it is cost effective and also improved. It is an integral part of the local communities, because their participation through which only it has come to a technology. And the sustainability point of view, it empowers the local communities and also facilitates mutual adaptation and also learning. So it is a continuous process. So ITKs are more sustainable from the organic agriculture point of view. Next, please. Right, we have a lot of ITKs starting from forecasting to processing. We will try to see one by one. Something are very interesting. So we have ITKs for soil water management, season, preparatory cultivation, seed sowing, manuring, weed management, pest and disease management, storage, pest control, and also other related activities.
Sure.
Yes, please. Next. Right. In the weather forecasting, we are aware that in different regions, in different states, we have so many techniques to. So in general, when there is a continuous march, this movement of ants to its nest, and also the birds dancing, and also the cow making a sound by seeing the sky, and also the lower flying of dragonfly or small insects. So there are all indications that the rain may come at any time. So there are the indications. The natural components, the integral part of the nature, they are the insects and the animals besides human. They are well aware of the occurrence of rain, and also the changes in the nature, that is the occurrence of natural calamities and other things. So there are a lot of indications they have documented. So thunder in summer and lightning and rainy season brings heavy rain, that we know that. And drizzling occurs in June, July, that is the Kharif, start of the Kharif. And brings assured rain in August, September. So in Tamil, we call it that's Ani and Avani, they are the months. rainy periods, and rainfall during Margali, that is the December, January, that is the early what I can say, the snow period, or in Tamil we call it as Munpani Kalam, right? That does not benefit the crop, because when there is rain during the December, January, then there is every possibility of dryness in the subsequent years. It brings drought. These are the indications. So in ancient days, we used to observe that the king used to ask his prime minister, or the foremost senior man in the ministry, how many rains occurred in the month. So he used to say that 3 rains. So 3 rains are very fixed as per the traditional, spiritual, and ancient documentations. One rain is for the king, and another rain is for the preach in the temples or the religious places, and another rain is for the women. So in Tamil, we used to call it as Vedam Bodum Vediyar Kurmalai, Madar Karpudai Mandar Kurmalai, Nidi Neritavara Mannar Kurmalai. So the 3 rains are fixed for the 3 sets of people who does their work very sincerely. If the king does his work very sincerely and try to maintain the justice, and the preaches the Veda very perfectly and very sincere to the God, and women, when they are sincere, loyal to their family and also perfect, then the 3 rains may occur. Now we know that why there is not much rain in many of the months. Okay, there's some disturbance in the system. So in general, in the 9 months we have the rain. So 9 months into 3 rains, it's equal to 27 rains, or 27 assured rainy days in any region. So the rest of the months, 3 months, that is where there is a different other forms of precipitation other than the liquid form, that is the rainfall that occurs, dew, fog, mist, all these things. So that period when there is a rain, that is an indication of the drought. So these are all some of the forecasts our forefathers had. And in Tamil Nadu or in the southern India, we have a very fixed calendar, that is the natural calendar. We used to say that in Tamil, Panjangam. So where the people well in advance focused in the month of April, they try to tell what happened in the another 12 months, all the 12 Tamil months. They say that when the drought occur, when there is excessive water available through flood or cyclone, all these things. So these are all the predictions they made by referring hundreds of years. In agricultural universities, we try to forecast based on different weather parameters and also analysis of more than 60 or 100 years of rainfall data that our forefathers very comfortably did by just seeing this Panjanga or this prediction document. So in rainbows occurring east, and also skies become dark near the horizon, we used to say that different type of clouds, cumulonimbus, nimbostratus, or nimbus, all these things scientifically it is proven. And in north, the wind blows northern direction, then rain is imminent. So these are some of the forecasting techniques. And besides, I told a lot of this peacock that is making some specific peculiar sound, and also this the soil life, they come out of the soil. All these are due to the changes in the weather parameters in a particular day. Next, please. Well, these are animal behavior. I told ants raising mounds, ants move higher ground with the eggs. They move with the entire their family. And termites fly in the evening, dragonflies flying low, and flight of butterflies from north to south, and death of more insects because of the changes in the weather parameters, frogs croaking, cattle looking at the sky frequently. And in Tirukural, that is a very good documentation in Tamil Nadu, we used to say when clouds full of watery, these farmers cease to pull their plows, right? So these are some of the forecasting things. Next, please. Right, some of the forecasts, some of the ancient, indigenous technical informations, right now scientifically proven and being adopted are vegetative fencing with the clui, vegetative barrier with agave. That's all very proven, right? So this plasmodendron and also this agave, Saisalna, this even in some places they go for this. This thorny species of this acacia and other things, they traditionally have this as a biofence or life fence. Even in certified organic agriculture, we promote the biofence for many reasons, just to get away from the drift from adjoining fields, and also to minimize the pest and disease load inside the farm. We always recommend to plant the multi-purpose trees, and it should necessarily have acacia, at least one in the entire row, or one bamboo. In Tamil, we used to call it as Kanikur Karivel Velikur Mungil, right? So these are all some of the things our forefathers, knowing its value, they have planted in the boundaries. So they are all traditional of traditional origin, and conservative furrow with the traditional plowing is very common in the intercropping system of pearl millet with pulses. Use of indigenous plow, the formation of broadbed furrows to conserve the water in the heavy soils, and also this intercropping with the different crops to minimize the erosion, that is the runoff, and also soil erosion, and cultivation and sowing across the slope. That we are scientifically, we have validated the technologies and now being in use. So next important thing is preparatory cultivation, tillage. Now a lot of discussions are going on whether to till the soil or not to till. So that is on one side. And in farmers in Kerala, they do this summer ploughing and go for powdered application of farm manure. It is very, very effective in bringing good yield. Even in Tirukural in Tamil Nadu, people used to say, that means the soil is dried so in such a way that 1 ounce become 1/4 ounce, that is 1/4. Abundant yields will come, and it will not require a single handful of fertilizer. Fertilizer need not be applied if you thoroughly make the soil, that is, make a fine tilt, then ultimately that itself will nourish the plant. So that is one thing. And a piece of raw fermented areca nut with a betel leaf, that is nothing but in you put a pond and then spit on the soil, plowed face, and then if it turns into blackish color, it is well tilled. If it is not turning, it requires sills. These are some indication. In ancient times, the landlord or jamindar, he used to visit during the preparatory cultivation period, and he used to put that chunna, this areca nut, supari or something, this betel leaf, and then spit on the plowed face. And depending upon the changes due to the reaction of this stuff with the microorganism in the cut face, then ultimately they will decide whether to plow further or to stop. So these are some of our forefathers' knowledge. Next, please. This is being in practice in Assam. So that is what the documentation says. So green manuring, we know that this is being very, very traditional technique. They just sow the green manure and plow before flowering. Now we are telling after 50% flowering, and they go for the next crop. Now the very recent concept is to convert a soil into more fertile, go for triple green manuring, 3 times green manuring. That is very effective. First time incorporate at 50% flowering, next time before flowering, and third time in the middle of the vegetative stage. But all this needs to be scientifically validated, because these are all from traditional, these farmers know other things. Next, please. Yes, yes, our ancient Tamil text quotes very frequently some of the species. They are they had been used from time immemorial. They use it as green leaf manure. There is Calotropis, Morinda, Despecia, Jatropa, Ipomia, Atatoda. And crop rotation and intercropping are very effective to restore soil fertility. And this soil life, ants, earthworms, this centipede, millipede, all this, even these mole crickets, frogs, they are in the soil to improve the soil physical properties. So the value of the soil life is very interesting, and it is valueless, I can say. To quote an example, we say that a soil is good in fertility if the soil of 1 meter squared contains 40 earthworms. So 1 meter squared 40 earthworm means 10,000 meters squared 1 hectare will have 4 lakh earthworms, and ultimately each earthworm will move 10 times up and 10 times down. That means it makes 20 holes, because at no point of time the earthworm will travel in the same hole it created. So every time it produces a new bore, it bores, open a new hole and comes out of it. So it drills. That is why it is called as U-drillers. It excavates. That is why we call it as excavator species. So it's wonderful organism. So 4 lakh into 20 times, you work out, it is nearly 80 lakh holes per hectare per day. Did any plow or anyone can design or devise a plow or any facility to create 80 lakh holes? I'm telling the active earthworm will have 40 holes per day, 40 times movement, but the sluggish will have 15 times. So on an average, I'm telling 20 times. So that is why we used to say that very frequently the soil is being plowed and aerated by the single species earthworm. So that is why it is called as a friend of farmers. And wherever the earthworm population is adequate in a particular soil, don't disturb. Don't go for any tillage. Tillage reduces the carbon load in the soil. That is the recent discussion. So we are losing the carbon. It goes waste, not effectively being utilized. So we need to have the optimum moisture in the soil to conserve the carbon. We are trying to sequestrate the carbon. We want to have more footprints. But on the other hand, very frequent tillage. On seeing a small colonies of green matter or weeds, then farmer will tend to have the plowing. So the farmer, they usually have the tractor on loan and the drivers on hire. So when both are say ideal, the farmer, they tend to go for plowing repeatedly, crisscross this direction, that direction, so that the perennial weeds like cyanodon and these some of the vegetatively propagated weeds will get spread in a very quicker way by repetitive plowing. A small weed colony, these problematic weeds, will become a full crop in a field because of the faulty management practices. That's why we recommend not to go for too much plowing. Let the roots of the previous crop and also the soil, like very specifically the earthworm, does the function of plowing the soil or making creating the aeration facilities to the soil, and we don't need to have any plowing very frequently or minimize the plowing. That is why the long run, when we practice organic agriculture, the practice will end up in do nothing farming. Don't go for any plowing. Naturally the plowing will go on, right? The transaction of gases, transaction of nutrients, movement of water, everything will be in the very improvised way when we are not going for any tillage, especially in long-term organic farms or natural farms. Next, please. So this is another interesting thing. Many times we fertilize through cattle manures or any compost or any other scientifically validated nutrition as solid meal to the soil. And in the second half or the later part of the crop production, the vegetative growth will be very good. And later half of the crop production, the crop will suffer for want of some foliar fertilization because they are unable to tap from the soil continuously, and they show some stunted growth or the emergence, the panicle or the inflorescence will be somewhat hampered. So in such cases, we have chemical sprays in our conventional modern agriculture, but in the organic production system, this Panchagavya helps. So Panja means 5 and Gavya means individually the products obtained from cow. So they are the wonderful microorganisms that comes up by preparing this Panchagavya in the, as shown this slide, the cow dung 5 kg or biogas slurry means 10 liters and cow's urine 3 liters, milk, curd, they both are the inoculums containing profuse quantity of this lactobacillus. The lactobacillus is a wonderful organism in the globe that can ferment both 5 carbon and 6 carbon compounds. That is the wonderful facility we have whenever and wherever we use this milk and curd. And clarified butter, I had a very good opportunity in surveying the Tamil Nadu, the different non-governmental organization maintaining the organic farms or natural farms. And I could see that this Panchagavya is being used by almost all the organic growers of the state. That's why I took this for my as one part of my PhD work in 2099. I did the survey and consequently I have chosen this topic for my PhD research. And I could see a lot of great informations because the basis from Brahish Samhita or this our Vriksha Ayurveda, very good documentations are available about Panchagavya, Surabala Vriksha Ayurveda. And so we add sugarcane juice, tender coconut water, and ripened banana as a carbon food for the microbes to be in the mixture for a longer time. So this is the combination. We use the clarified butter. In some places, they use the oil cakes, especially the groundnut oil cake or castor oil cake, because the ghee itself costs more than 500 rupees nowadays. So even for the human, the ghee is not available. In some places, they add honey, they add the grape juice, they add toddy, depending upon the availability. If the farmer himself produces all these things in his own farm, the production cost is very low, 30 to 40 rupees. But if they buy everything from outside, it costs more than 100 rupees, a good quality material. Next, please. So this is the different versions where the Panchagavya has been mentioned in Tirichanda Viritam, Nalayara Divya Prabandham. This is a documentation by these Vishnu worshipping people, the Vaishnavas. And it is being mentioned as Panchakavyam, Navakavyam, Dasakavyam, Avutam, because A means cow. So in Tirunavukararsar Nalam Tirumurai, Namachivaya Tirupathikam, they are mentioned as Avinikarigilan Aindatathal. In Nalayara Divya Prabandham, Avinmeya Aindimniye, Avatril Nindra Tuimeniye, because the purest form, we are using the tender coconut water, it is purest. We use the milk, it is the purest. That's why we use all these things as our puja materials in the temples, where all these things are being used one way or other. This cow dung plus cow's urine used as a vibhuti, that is the white colored powder that is being commonly used in South India. In temples, they serve as a prasad and we use it, put it in the forehead. So it is nothing but this cow dung plus cow's urine dried in the shade, sutta tiriniru, right? Tirinir, they called us. And all these things are being used as prasad material. So they do the abhishek materials and tender coconut water, even this banana plus jaggery. They mix with honey and this some other additives and panchamridam. They used to call it as it's an elixir. It's energy giving material that is being given in the Lord Kartikeya temples very frequently. Lord Muruga, right? Hilly god, right? So it is very energetic, right? And this after the abhishek, they wash the god, and that will come out of a small went through in temples in Prakara. We could see that is getting connected with the temple pond, and temple pond is interconnected with the river. So when there is 6 times puja happens in a temple, then automatically 6 times this Panchagavya is getting mixed with the river water, and the river water will go to all the farming field, and ultimately the Panchagavya is being fed to the field. That growth and protection from pest and diseases is taken care of. This is how our forefathers used all these techniques. Deninum kamadene, that is what Bhagavad Gita says about this Vibhuti Yoga in Vibhuti Yoga section. Next, please. So another interesting thing, this Panchagavya contains scientifically all the biofertilizers, all the bioinoculants, all the nutrition, NPK, micronutrients, but in small quantities. What the science says, when small quantities applied as a starter dose, the plant system itself will create the growth promoting substances like GAA, IAA, GA, gibberellic acid, indolic acetic acid, etc., so that the plant growth promotion is taking up. And the immunity boosting, we have the phenols and also other related components in the Panchagavya. And enhancing the nutrient availability, because air contains 78% nitrogen. So direct entry of the gases along with the carbon dioxide through the stomatal opening, this guard cells, the prolongation of the guard cells opening is being facilitated by the presence of chemolithoautotrophs, that is nitrifiers and ammonifiers present in Panchagavya. That's what I observed in my PhD program. So that the nitrogen uptake will be there in the leaf surface and thick leaves. So the insect that comes and try to squeeze the sap from the leaf surface could not, because unlike human beings, the insects and other creatures, they have a fixed opening size of the mouth. We, the human being, will open depending upon the food size. That is, if there is a burger, that our temporomandibular joint will open like anything, like a this crocodile, and we try to take the food. But not unlike these things in insects, they have a fixed mouth size, so they cannot feed the leaves and suck out the sap and other thing. They go away to the next leaf where the Panchagavya is not spread. So increase the leaf area and also thickening of the leaves and cuticle thickening due to the presence of the ghee. It contains the hexanol. So the hexanol is a wonderful thing that ward off the pest and diseases, and also that is antimicrobial, and also disease causing organism won't come. Even in our Mahabharata war, after the end of the war, after the sunset, then the medical team will go and spray this ghee on the cut surfaces, maybe the hand or the cut portion, the removed hand, and then they just join it and then tie with the native fiber. Ultimately, the two pieces will get joined. So that much powerful material. It also contains, Panchagavya contains some of the components in the oxylipin pathway, jasmonides and other things. So all these, it also contains the phenyl. Cow dung contains two important organisms, two important materials. I can say it's chemicals for the understanding. That is in phenyl acetic acid and also the benzoic acid, benzoate. So this one is a fuel and another one is the antimicrobial. Acetic acid, we know that, and also phenyl compound is also very good. A disinfectant, we use it in the home instead of the cow dung plastering. We go for this artificially synthesized materials. So another important ITK is fish amino acid. That is a fermented fish extract. One part of fish, one part of jaggery. It is a very good growth promoting substances. In a month time, we have to keep it in a glass jar, glass container, glass jar, and then you tighten it and open it at frequent intervals. Then after 30 days, it's a very good fruit taste material will come, and you can go ahead after filtering, and this very good material for promoting flowering and also this flower shedding you can prevent. So it's a growth promoter. Next, please. So next one is the egg. This is how it can be prepared. The methodology and PowerPoint is available in the from the organizers. You can get it. And next, please. Yes. Next. So adding 5 ml of this with 1 liter of water for spraying. It could be mixed with irrigation water and then applied. 5 kg of fish and 5 kg of jaggery is the simple ratio. We can have it, keep it for a month time. Fish waste, not the good fish. The rejects from the fish shop can be used. It's a proteinaceous material containing rich in amino acids. There's a precursor for the synthesis of protein and ultimately more of N, because the N content is nothing but crude protein. It is 6.25. Next, please. Sir. Next slide. Yeah. An egg of this is a fermented egg along with lemon juice or lime juice and quarter kg of jaggery, 10 to 15 lemons and 5 eggs. So put it everything inside and keep the eggs immersed. This inside the lemon juice, and for 10 days this should be closed. And after 10 days, smash the eggs because the shell, outer shell, calciferous layer will get it. It will thin in its uh, texture. Then you can easily smash it and then mix with water. 2 ml with 1 liter of water is also very good in promoting the growth and also flowering. The what I can say, even in the rooftop nursery or the nutritional garden, many homemakers, they observed very good effect by using this egg. If you are a vegetarian, then these things cannot be used. Instead, you can use the panchagavya very well. Next. So next. Concentrated amudam solution, that is nothing but the cattle dung urine slurry, that is the cattle shed washings can effectively be used directly. You can dilute and then use it after 48 hours. Add some jaggery. Jaggery will invite the microorganism, that is effective microorganism, and also growth promoting substance will come out of 2 days fermentation, and is lot of probiotic organism, EM will be there. So synthetically, I mean, the commercially available EM is also very effective, but it is cost involving. These things you can prepare in the farm itself, provided if you own a cow. Right. Next, please. Yeah, it's another interesting thing. So this traditional preparation, buttermilk and tender coconut. This methodology and other things I have given. For want of time, I'm just running. Next, please. So friend who is helping the slide movement, please little bit fast. Lot of things will be there. Next, please. Yeah, it's for weed management. In my PhD program, I have validated this multi-varietal seed technique. That is Navadanyam, 9 dhanyas. Whatever we give it as charities, dhanyam. That is that given for the poor people in ancient days. They call not only the cereals, whatever oil seeds, pulses, everything inclusive. We call it as dhanyams. So the farmers, they use mixture of 12 crops, barak, anaj in traditional hilly tribal ecosystem. They are still in practice, and we go for mulching, and all these are traditional background. So intercropping, puddling, that is a traditional ancient age-old technique. And this use of this biocontrol, ladybird beetle, this time immemorial people identified, and they go for they promote this by spraying some of the sugary stuff on the plants so that the insect and other things will be ward off. Next, please. Next. Yes, mulching, all this I told. Next. Next. Previous, that is herbal pest repellents. It's again very interesting. We can select the different plants. It's not a fixed one, depending upon the locality. The leaves that are not preferred by the cattle, stem that secretes milky sap, that is latex yielding, that is calotropis and datura. In Tamil, we used to call it as leaves that are taste bitter, neem leaf, aloe vera, etc. That taste salty, jatropha. And seeds that taste bitter or salty, neem or custard apple. We can take 2 kg of each and then put it in the cow's urine, soak it. So don't macerate. In natural farming, we always advocate and advise to use it in its natural form. We should not denaturate. But in organic agriculture, you can make it as a paste and just mix with water and then use it. You can make it as a ball and keep it for a longer time. Even after reduced moisture conditions, you can moist and then use it. So along with you add some quantity of quarter kg of turmeric powder and ferment it for 7 to 15 days. And 10% spray is being recommended. Next. So it's very effective. Aindalai Karisal, Pattilai Karisal, Dasbarne in natural farming used to say. And this Sukastra, Brahmastra, everything available in the when you browse the natural farming techniques. Next place, this is nothing but Sukupal in Tamil. We used to take human, similarly we make it and spray. And garlic kerosene extract, 3G extract, normally we call it a ginger, green chilies and garlic. They are very effective methodology, everything is available. When you refer the TNAU website, all these informations are available, about 600 exclusive pages for organic agriculture and 10 books, good books, like one theories on natural farming, this silent spring, everything being interconnected in the website. Next, please. Next is very effective against sucking pests, and citrus waste to trap insects is again effective. All are scientifically validated in effective in rice to control stem borers and snails. Next, and snails major problem in Kerala and Tamil Nadu nowadays. Next, neem buttermilk formulation. It is also very effective in bollworm and cotton. Next, place, just simple techniques, no cost and low cost. This herbal paste, this citrus grandiflora, sizes contractilis, perendae, peria cumiticai, and yellow arali, that is Tecoma stans, Naza directa, all quantities and how to prepare all these given. Is very effective against cutworms in flowers and also these vegetables. Next, please. Cow urine, cow dung extract itself very effective, because cow's urine contains potassium hippuric acid, very effective. 5% nitrogen is there, and also cow dung is rich of microfluorides and inoculum. Many times cow dung should be treated as inoculum. One part of cow dung can compose 29 to 30 parts of the organic material. That much potential it has. So it should not be dumped in any places. Rather, it should be used as an inoculum because of the unavailability and also shrinking cattle population. Next, please. Next, yeah. This coconut, we have specific and peculiar ITK techniques. This planting aloes vera along with the coconut seedling is very effective in controlling termites and nematodes that our farmers experience in Tamil Nadu, this western zone. Fragmented human hair and dry fish mixture kept in the crown of the coconut palm. Check the squirrel attack in coconut. An application of sand and salt crystals instead of furidon or methylparathion, all these chemicals, you can have the alternative in controlling the rhinoceros beetle and major issues in ITK. Next, please. One of the participants asked the PowerPoint that I hope the organizers, the IIFSR will provide it. No, don't bother. Plants used for storage. We know that traditionally in storage of the rice, our forefathers used to have this nochi, this vitex negudo. So it's very effective in controlling the pest, and in some places neem, storage of pulses and annona leaves and this lantana. All these things are very effective because it contains a lot of alkaloids and also these pest repellent principles. Recently, such principles are being commercially exploited and being used, for example, ivermectin, and also the spinosad. All these things are commercially available. Next, please. Next, please. Out of time. I'm having another part also. So these are the traditional materials used for storing the post-harvest things, and challenges need to have the awareness and valuation. These things have to be transferred to the next generation so that these things will be forever. And all these storage structures need to be preserved. At this juncture, I request the national PA and national coordinator for IFS, natural farming, organic farming, and future all type of farmings, Dr. Ravishankar Ji, reserve some fund and create a museum at IIFSR so that all the regional and state specific things like the storage bins, traditional tools, implements, all these can be kept at IIFSR for the benefit of farmers and visitors. This is my humble appeal to the and also our beloved director to kindly consider this. Next, please. Herbal pesticides, again, and I'll just highlight some things. Next, please. Next. Yeah, these things are known. Next. Yes. What are botanical insecticides? Because the insect toxins and broad spectrum in action, quick action, and do not persist. They degrade very quickly from plant origin. So for the kind of information of the participants, I want to say that the pyrethrin, they available both synthetically and also natural. Natural pyrethrin is also available. Both are equally toxic. Don't think that since it is from plant origin, they are less effective. It's very poisonous. Even in Nerium, you can see in Arali, Tamil, we used to say that this is very powerful and very toxic. So even in Tamil Nadu, we used to say that Asai Vachen, Unmele, Arali Vachen, Kolle, because if that desire goes wrong, then that plant will take care of its own course of action, and the counterpart, if not responding during the period of affection, then they end up their life. So they are very poisonous. They possess in various forms, include crude plant material, resins, isolated chemicals. I told a lot of things. They are also being sprayed, dusted, mixed with water, suspension, preparation, all these things. Next, please. Yes, this in the Roman Empire period itself, for control of rats, mice, and insects, they use these hellebores, these chemicals. They are the attractants. In Hindu book Riga Ayurveda, they mentioned the use of poisonous plants for pest control. Botanical insects in 1200 BC used as fungicides, and this Panchamrit, that is the chakra regarded neem flowers, fruits, leaves, barks, and roots as the Panchamrit in pest and disease management. Pyrethrum, I told, Tenacium, this Persian king reported during his regime in 400 BC. Next, please. Just for want of time, my time is over, I think. I'm in grace. So in the different years, how they are being used, and the first identified weedicide, they use it for army to make the leaves defoliated by name Agent Orange. That is the origin. And these fungicide, others in grape gardens, they used just a copper based or betel wine and all this chunna based. They just spit on plants and seen that these poultry mildew, down in mildew, all this they have gone, these organisms. And the classification of botanicals, they made it in 6 categories: repellents, antifeedant, toxicant, protectants, chemostimulants, reproduction inhibitors, and another growth and development inhibitors. 6 categories. All these things are available for effective organic agriculture and also sustainable agriculture. So rapid degradation is advantage, rapid action depending upon the dose we applied, and low mammalian toxicity. Even it can be used with bare hand, and also sometimes it is also safe to have the protective materials, because they are also a little bit poisonous. They produce vomiting, diarrhea, all these things when it goes beyond the acceptable limit. Next, please. So selectivity, again, need not worry about the phytotoxicity and other things, and environmental friendly, eco-friendly, so safe to the human who applies. Next, please. Yes, do not cause resistance, persistence in the soil, and enter into the food chain and pose problems as we are facing 40 years back. Not much of kidney failures or renal dysfunction. Now everybody is facing because of the presence of heavy metals in fertilizers. Some of the scientists or some of the extension functionaries participating in this program may think that how the fertilizers will produce harm to the environment or to the food chain. Yes, very sure of presence of lead and cadmium in the fertilizer, especially from the superphosphate. Urea by origin, it's organic, amide form. By process, Haber-Bosch process, it is synthetic, because we are using sulfur, concentrated sulfuric acid and some other additives. So this superphosphate contains 6 times the permissible limit of cadmium and 10 times the permissible limit of lead, 609 ppm and 106 ppm respectively. So it poses problem. So God doesn't know that we human eat all these natural material, these unnatural materials. And many of you may ask that the plant absorb nutrients in the ionic form. So what harm if we apply? What is the need to have organic sources of nutrients instead soluble and chemical sources itself is very easily available, and ionization is very quick, mineralization is very quick and readily available, soluble. Why we are going for cow dung instead of calcium ammonium nitrate or urea? The answer is, now recently the experiment shows that sensor-based absorption of nutrients is possible in organic production system, and availability, slow and steady availability, and chelation principles without much loss. Whatever you apply to the soil, the availability may be a prolonged one, because this goat manure, sheep manure will be available within a year, and cattle manure will be available up to 6 years. So, so it depends upon the soil life, moisture condition, and other physical properties of the soil. The mineralization occurs, and also the activity of the microorganism in the soil is very important, because they are the things, whether it is inorganic or organic, the mineralization should occur if there is a presence of nitromonas or nitrosomonas or nitrobacter colonies, nitrobacillus. All these things are very important. So we know that. So plant derived compounds, we have very big list. I'm not reading. The up to rodenticides, we know that ascaricides, algicides, antiseptics, herbaricides, miticides, and PAPs, everything is available for the benefit of organic growers. Next, please. And these are the plants very commonly used for preparation of the different drugs in organic agriculture. And very common: garlic, neem, chili, and these are the herbicides. I told, pyrethrum, pyrethroids, these retinone, azadirachtin. They are having the antipedants, sterilant, ovipositor deterrents, ovicides, they act as ovicides. And the thing is, it will not disturb the biodiversity. It's a very important component in organic production system that is being taken care of by. So neem itself contains controls more than 400 insects. And you see, neem itself is being affected by more than 250 pests. So that is also there. So there is no end of it. So nature is so unique, and one cannot decide its activity. It's not short cycle. It's a very big circle. So the leaves contain water, seeds contain water. So mode of action, everything. Just next please.
Okay.
So this is preparation of neem seed kernel extract. So how it can be prepared, and neem oil, how it can be prepared. Next please. Just we should not ignore. That's why I have put this included in these esters and triterpene alcohol. These lactone, pyrethrosin, pyrethral, jasmonine, and also cinerin, they are all very effective. Lot of literatures, push and pull strategy, and also this recent this ecological engineering concept. You just enter into the website, you can get a lot of articles. Some plants attract, some plants repulse. So this tobacco is very effective. It is a very, next please. Tobacco decoction is very effective, but very limited use should be there, because it is also a drug. And eugenol in basil is very effective. So we have almost all our weeds are herbs. They are the children of the soil. Some of the exotic weeds are posing problems like this lantana, and also this parthenium and all. So Vitex is a wonderful material, how insecticidal, ovicidal, growth inhibition, and morphogenetic effects it produces. It can be planted in cotton in 1:9 area. It bought up many of the pests, because it is yeah. Next please. So lot of these Coleus species, Annona is very effective. So Clerodendron. So it's all commonly available everywhere. Can be better used. Methodologies are available, and very good documentations are also available in IIFSR. Next please. Next. Datura individually for want of time, just running up. It contains atropine, is very important alkaloid that is present in datura is very effective. The saponins, flavonoids, and these anti principles, that is anti-fidin principles, are very effective. Drive away the insect. It's a very good repellent. So we have no power. I mean, we have no rights to kill the insect. But according to the theory of coexistence, insects should also persist because they are the very good pollinators. Insects are seniors to us. 40,000 years before a human comes to the earth, they have come. So at no time junior will take over the seniors. We should understand. So leaf extract, when you boil and take the extract, the activity will be, I mean, the action, mode of action will be very serious. When you soak it in the cow's urine and use it, macerate and use it. So depending upon the pest load, we have to decide how to proceed with. Next, please. So latex yielding, it is also having scientific information. Next, please. Acorus calamus, it is very effective. Next, in Tamil it is called Vasambu, sweet plant, right? Next, please. So just scroll, right? Syrianangel, this andrographis is very effective against all the vegetable pests. It won't produce harm. Immediately after spray, you can take it in the market. Rather, it produces a good taste also. Aloe vera. Yes. Next, please. Prosopis is very, it is a wasteland material now being cut all over Tamil Nadu because it is tapping the water from adjoining fields. Up to 22 meters, it can easily. The neighbor will be enmitical to us, but hostile to us, but he will not give a glass full of water. But this plant will take pounds and pounds. So limonin and linalool from this citrus fruits are very effective. So if we see, a lot of things are available for our pretty use and also low cost things. Herbal 5-leaf extract, I told the combination is given, very specific and very effective. Our TNAU is producing and making use in all our NPOF experiments and also recommendation to the farmers. Next please. Only 15 days fermentation. It's a continuous thing we have to keep in the organic farm. Agni-Astra, Subhash Palekarji recommends this. Brahmastra, Agni-Astra, Neem-Astra, all these things, they are all effective, no doubt. But many times as a prophylactic spray, we have to go with. If something goes excess, straight away it's partially cooking like that. So it won't harm for our culinary, these preparations and all. Brahmastra is very effective. We use the neem and also castor oil leaves. All the leaves we use in Brahmastra. Okay, it costs nothing. Next. In the farm, we should have all this. Next, please. Just go ahead. You just show that these informations are available in this collection. Next, please. Next, hypomia. Next. For different type of pest and pest management, we have these solutions. Non-target effects, these botanicals, and also we have the biological way of control also. Next, please. So you need to rotate the botanicals, not with a single one, because the insect should get confused. Then it will become sluggish and also never go for the egg laying. And because when there is no affirmative or congenial or very conducive environment is there, insect will never go for egg laying and other things. So that ambience we are disturbing. So this pesticides cafeteria we established right now in Tamil Nadu Agricultural University with the great support of IIFSR, NPOF. We have 72 plants as a component in crop pest repellent cafeteria. So farmers should also have as maximum as possible, so that immediately on seeing the pest, he can go for this preparation and then spray. So it is eco-friendly, cost-effective, low cost. Otherwise, it is pro-nature. All these things. Next, please. I think we are coming into end. So this is the cafeteria components. Next, please. Next, conclusions. Yes, it is cheaper, safer, and eco-friendly. Though ITK are sustainable, we should blend with the improved scientifically validated technologies, mechanization, all these things, because itself ITK itself cannot be a high yielding thing, because before independence we had very small population, say less than 50 crores. Now it is threefold. So we need to take care of the food security, at the same time nutrition security. So we need to integrate modern technologies with this traditional knowledge so that we can all the time will never face the risk and also end up with the failure. Always the production and environment will be sustainable, and we can bring a sustainable, we can do the sustainable agriculture with the help of indigenous knowledge. It's a traditional wisdom, more particularly the Indian wisdom, because India is a treasure trove of information and also traditional knowledge. So we have to use it very effectively for the benefit of environment, for the benefit of human beings and all other forms of biolife. Thanks for the opportunity.